coming to the point. So currently we are in the influenza virus, unit 4, okay? Just a second. Unit 4. So in the 4th unit we have RNA viruses. Among RNA viruses we have polio, rhino, influenza, rabies, arbo and measles, mumps, rubella. So in this we already finished polio virus. Then we discussed about rhinovirus in the yesterday's class. And today we will discuss about influenza and rabies. Okay. So first let us start with influenza virus. So no matter whatever the virus is, you need to satisfy the 10 points. You need to discuss about introduction, classification, morphology, susceptibility, resistance, cultivation, pathogenesis, signs and symptoms, lab diagnosis, prophylaxis and treatment. So coming to the influenza. So yes, come first. Stay quiet. Sunil, everyone quiet. Why there is no coronavirus? Because yes, there is no corona because corona is not celebrated at that time when we are preparing this syllabus. Yes, for respiratory we need to include corona. We can discuss later then. Okay. Okay, fine. Class quiet, everyone. So coming to influenza virus, what we thought in the old days is we thought that we will get pandemic by a influenza virus rather than from corona, but our predictions became surprised. Anyway, coming to influenza virus, I will show you a brief history of influenza. I'm just keeping all of this. So influenza is RNA virus, and the meaning of influenza virus. Okay, influenza virus belongs to a family called Orthomyxoviridae. It belongs to Orthomyxoviridae. Okay, so ortho and myxo. Myxo means mucus. Meaning of myxo is mucus. Ortho means free. Free mucus virus. This is the meaning of orthomyxovirus. Okay, so influenza virus belongs to a family which is Orthomyxoviridae. The characteristics of orthomyxoviruses are these viruses will show affinity towards the mucous membranes of our body, and there is high mucus secretions within the respiratory tract. So these viruses will bind to the respiratory tract and they will cause respiratory infections. Okay. They will bind to the mucus present in the lung and they will cause respiratory distress syndromes. Okay. Ortho means free. What is the meaning of free in ortho? Okay, in this virus. Here, in this virus, you can see the genome. The genome has been break down. The genome has been fragmentized. Right? You can see helical genome or symmetry, but this genome has been fragmentized. It has been splitted. So genome was freely floating within the nuclear capsid. This is called freely floating genome containing mucus-loving virus. Okay. Now there is a specific number to these fragments. There will be totally 8 fragments in this particular orthomyxovirus. So 8 fragments of genome will be present in all types of orthomyxoviruses. That is one point. Okay. Then the problem with fragmented genome is yes, Simon, I didn't expect this problem. Late problem. Okay, the problem with free genome is there is a high chance of getting mutations. Do you know what is the meaning of mutations? Mutations means there will be changes in the DNA. So we have ATGC base pairs in the DNA, right? Sometimes during replication, there will be error in the copy. Instead of getting ATGC again, when it is copied, I may get some ATGC. So such things are called mutations. Okay. the rate of mutations will be higher if the genome was fragmentized. If that is the case, if there is one particular influenza virus, there is a chance of getting new species frequently. Influenza 1, influenza 2, influenza 3. There is a chance of getting new species of influenza virus because of mutations in the genome. You got my point or not? Due to fragmentized genome, periodically there will be mutations within the genome resulting in formation of a new virus or new variant of a previous virus, new strains of virus. These strains is very high among influenza viruses in the RNA family. In the RNA family, our orthomyxoviruses will show high mutation rate. So there is a high chance of getting new influenza strains or new influenza viruses periodically. For every 1 year, for every 2 years, you will get new viruses of influenza. How many of you heard about bird flu? Bird flu, right? Bird flu is a variant of influenza virus. Then the same bird flu was mutated again, became swine flu. It is the influenza virus to the pigs. Similarly, we have influenza infection to aves. Aves means birds. So there is a high chance of getting influenza variants in this particular family. And there are few influenza viruses that also attack humans due to mutations. I will show you a brief history of influenza now. So in previously we got swine flu and bird flu. All these swine flu, bird flu are the variants of a previous influenza viruses. Okay. Then, believe it or not, students, this is an image from 1918. In 1918, they got a flu, an influenza-mediated infection called Spanish flu. At this time, people don't know about viruses. At this time, they don't even know antibiotics. This is very early beginnings of medical history. At that time, people are dying mysteriously. They don't know the cause of death, but people are dying due to some infection. It became a pandemic. At 1918, there is an infection which became pandemic and it was killing millions of people worldwide. So the type of strategies they took to prevent this infection, I will show you their containment strategies, how they managed the infection. Somehow these people came to know that if you are preventing the cough of the infected people, you can able to prevent the cross infection of this unknown disease. So what they did is immediately the Red Cross came into the action and the global nurses, the missionary nurses, I mean the Christian nurses, okay, the missionary nurses came and they took charge of containing this disease. This is the picture of 1918 where the nurses preparing masks to prevent infection. So they know the strategies to contain a virus. This is not new to keep masks to prevent any viral infection. This was effectively worked out to prevent a deadly past infection, an influenza infection. So these pictures resemble similar to 2020s. So 100 years ago, they know the importance of wearing mask during a respiratory infection, during a respiratory viral breakout. They don't even know it is a virus, but they know that by keeping mask, by preventing the droplets coming from their mouths, you can able to prevent an infection. So these are the pictures of 1918, where the Spanish flu. Do you know, Corona killed not more than 2 million people right now, but Spanish flu has killed almost 50 million people in 1920s. Now you can understand the deadly consequences of influenza virus compared to corona. Corona is still a less hazard virus, I can say. Influenza virus killed more people than any other virus in the history of humans. So this is the statistics of influenza virus. Thank God we didn't get any influenza pandemic. At least we got corona pandemic, which was relatively less harmful virus. And now we start again with COVID pandemic, which is due to a corona, okay, which is a respiratory virus. So respiratory virus have the tendency of killing more people compared to other viruses. So whole nation, whole earth has kept masks. Anyway, so it's a good warning to us. So this is a brief history of influenza virus. You got right how influenza made a pandemic previously. So just write introduction to influenza virus, everyone. Introduction to influenza virus. Write introduction. Influenza virus belongs to the family Orthomyxoviridae. Influenza virus belongs to the family Orthomyxoviridae. You write this meaning. Orthomyxoviridae means you write this Greek meaning. Ortho, free, myxo, mucus, virus. Okay, write the meaning of Orthomyxoviridae. Myxo means mucus. Okay, myxo virus, Orthomyxo virus. Next point. These viruses have fragmented genome. These viruses have fragmented RNA genome. These viruses have fragmented RNA genome. Within the bracket, 8 fragments. Okay, within the bracket, 8 fragments. These viruses, next point, these viruses have the ability to, these viruses have the ability to bind to the, these viruses have the ability to bind to the mucous membranes and red blood cells. Bind to the mucous membrane or mucus and to red blood cells. Mucus and red blood cells. Next point, due to binding to red blood cells, due to binding to RBCs, results in hemagglutination. Due to binding to RBCs, results in hemagglutination. That means the patient blood will start clotting within the body. After they are getting viral infection, they will get respiratory problems. Then their blood will start collapsing. The blood will clot inside the body. Help him. Next point. These viruses usually infect humans, birds, pigs and horses. Humans, birds, pigs and horses. Humans, birds, pigs and horses. There are two broad families. One, Orthomyxoviridae. Two, Paramyxoviridae. Orthomyxoviridae, two Paramyxoviridae. That we will discuss later, okay? So this is all about introduction. Is introduction clear for everyone? Straight points. Next, right? So introduction we finished, then classification. So write the classification. Orthomyxoviridae, rather than sideways, you write a flowchart, okay? Orthomyxoviridae. Then you have 4 classes. You have 5 classes, okay? Influenza virus A, B, C, Togoto virus and ISA virus. Write this classification. Genus, influenza virus A, B, C, influenza A, influenza B, influenza C, Togoto virus and ISA virus. In the Togoto virus, within the bracket, write arboviruses. In the Togoto virus, within the bracket, write arboviruses. That means insect viruses, okay? Arboviruses, ARBO, arboviruses. Then you have ISA virus. You need not to write these things, you just write the classes. Then the same genus viruses, okay? Influenza A virus, B and C virus. We have 3 types of viruses. We have influenza A, influenza B, and influenza C virus. Okay. Then, so this is the classification. Classification also finished. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Next, morphology. Morphology of influenza virus. Third heading is morphology of influenza virus. Morphology of influenza virus. Okay. Morphology. In the morphology, write the side points: size, shape, symmetry, envelope. Write bullet points: size. Next, shape, size, shape, symmetry, envelope, genome, viral special proteins. Viral special proteins. Size, shape, symmetry, envelope, genome, viral specific proteins. Yes, Sandeep. Viral specific proteins. Okay. Now write the size of influenza virus. Size 80 to 120 nanometers. 80 to 120 nanometers. Shape spherical. Shape spherical. Symmetry helical. Symmetry helical. Next, genome single envelope. Envelope present. Yes, envelope present. Genome single stranded RNA. Single stranded RNA. Within the bracket, 8 segments. 8 fragments or segments, anything. 8 fragments. Okay. Single stranded RNA, 8 fragments. Okay. Then viral specific proteins. Now listen to me, students, carefully. I said that the influenza virus will bind to 2 regions. What are the 2 regions? Mucous membranes and red blood cells. This binding is mediated by 2 proteins. Okay. Now write those 2 proteins. Viral specific proteins. 1. Hemagglutinin spikes. Hemagglutinin spikes. 1. Hemagglutinin spikes. 2. Neuraminidase spikes. Neuraminidase spikes. So you have 2 types of spikes on the surface of envelope of this virus. You have hemagglutinin spikes, and you have neuraminidase spikes. Neuraminidase will bind to the mucous membranes. Okay, this will bind to the mucous membrane, whereas this will bind to the red blood cells. Okay. Other than these 2, you have M1 and M2 proteins also. You have M1 and M2 proteins. Actually, for students, these things we will not study. These will be studied in molecular students. They will study the protein machinery, protein functions. So just for namesake, you can remember M1 and M2. Okay. Now draw this picture of orthomyxovirus. Draw this one. This will be better. Draw this picture, okay, everyone. Morphology of influenza virus. Morphology of influenza virus. Morphology of influenza virus. Draw it. Quiet, everyone. Sunil, that's why you are failing. Draw this picture. See, you need to show a clear difference between neuraminidase and hemagglutinin spike. Okay, these 2 are very important. If this is blurry, I can make it large, but okay. Okay, I will show you other picture, wait. Okay, do it. There is nothing actually. I forgot to tell one important point, students. Our influenza virus has a special layer. Usually we will say virus will have only 2 membranes, right? You will have nucleocapsid and you will have envelope. But influenza virus has a third layer called M protein. Sorry, there is a name for this membrane. M membrane, okay. M stands for membrane, okay? Membrane protein. Influenza virus has membrane protein. This is a membrane protein. Similarly, for Akash got it quite. For herpes viruses, they will have tegument membrane. Herpes viruses will have tegument membrane, whereas influenza orthomyxoviruses will have M protein in their membrane. Okay? M membrane, very important. M membrane. M membrane. How many segments of RNA present to influenza? 8 segments, very good. So morphology also finished. Then shall I move forward? Is everyone finished? Then quick. Rocky. Very bad. Spelling is not clear. Neuraminidase. Neuraminidase. Hemagglutinin. Hemagglutinin. Segmented RNA. M protein. Lipid envelope. That's it. This is the maximum. Quick, everyone, quick. Shall I move forward?
Yes, sir.
Anuj. Actually, diagrams you should draw within 5 seconds like this. Yeah, that's it. I will draw it. See, I will draw orthomyxovirus within 5 seconds. Shall I? Wait. Over, wait. I will show all the parts in it. Neuraminidase, hemagglutinin, fragmented RNA, envelope, M protein. That's it. You draw it. Huh? You need not to be precise. Next. Okay, next. Class quiet. Enough. All the artists will come when keeping diagrams. Huh? You will become Leonardo da Vinci's, Pablo Picasso's. Okay, next. Next is in the morphology. How many serotypes of influenza? Actually, we have 3 classes. Okay, how many classes? 3 classes, ABC, right? Okay, fine. 5 classes. Okay, 5 classes and 3 species. Okay. Okay. Fine. Then in the neuraminidase spikes, you keep within the bracket mushroom-like appearance. The neuraminidase spikes will look like mushrooms. They will look like mushroom. Okay. Neuraminidase spikes looks like a mushroom. They will look like mushrooms. Okay. Then the antigens of this virus are very important. Because of changing in the antigen sequence, the virus will virus will cause mutations. I will show you very simply. We have genome or RNA. RNA will go to mutations. When we have mutations, what will happen? Corresponding proteins will change. First protein will be in this shape, then second protein will change to this shape, then to this shape, right? These are proteins. What are proteins? Proteins means antigens. So the change in antigens occurs because of mutations in the genome. Because of this change in the protein shape, you will get new species or new form of influenza viruses. Is it clear? Now let us see antigens of influenza virus. Very important side heading. Antigens of influenza virus. Antigens of influenza virus. Why we will study antigens? Because these antigens are responsible for killing patients. Because of these antigens, only people will die. Now we need to understand the antigens of influenza virus. Upon understanding the antigens, then we can able to develop drugs to inhibit the antigenic properties of the virus. To develop drugs, to develop vaccines, we need to understand the antigens of the virus. Now let us see the antigens of virus, okay? Keep a side heading antigens, draw this table. We have 4 types of antigens. We have nucleocapsid antigens, matrix protein antigens, surface mucoprotein antigens, and 3 polymerase polypeptide antigens. These antigens are very important. Write down properly. Antigens of influenza virus. Influenza virus killed more people than World War II. Antigens of influenza virus. Now, surface glycoproteins, in the surface glycoproteins, draw a second graph like this. Okay? You draw like this. HA means what is the full form of HA? Hemagglutinin spikes, okay? And NA means neuraminidase spikes, okay? Now, HA, we have 3 types of subvariants of HA. Those variants are hemagglutinin 1, hemagglutinin 2, hemagglutinin 3. Then neuraminidase, we have 2. Neuraminidase 1, neuraminidase 2. Neuraminidase 2. Okay? Neuraminidase 2. Now, listen to me very carefully. Listen to me very carefully, okay? Now we have subproteins. I'm telling about the proteins of influenza virus. Let us take one example. Okay? For example, okay? Now listen. Carefully listen to me. Okay? Okay? Now listen to me. Usually, humans got one type of influenza infection. One influenza virus entered into humans. Okay? This influenza virus has H1, H2, and N1. Okay. There is N2 neuraminidase spike. This is one type of virus. This virus has H1, H2, N2 proteins on the surface. Okay? And this virus is non-lethal. This is a idiot virus. Okay, it is a simple one, stupid virus. It won't cause any infection. This is a normal virus. Even though it is entering into human, it won't cause any infection. It won't cause death to the patient. Similarly, a bird was also attacked by a virus. Okay, influenza virus. So here it has H1, H2, and N1. This is also a normal virus. It won't cause any infection to bird. These are normal viruses infected the host, but there is no complications in the host. Okay. One day what happened is our caretaker, our human came to pamper the duck. He came to change anything. Okay, he was in contact with the duck and he coughed. He coughed. Okay, then this H1, H2, N2 virus entered into the duck. This human virus entered into the duck. Okay, already in the duck we have H1, H2, N1. This virus. We know that these viruses have free genome, fragmented DNA, fragmented RNA. Now what happened is they mixed these proteins. N1 entered into humans and N2 entered into duck. They exchanged their genome. These viruses exchanged genome, and now I got a new virus with a combination of H1, H2, and 1. Okay. This one, okay. Forgot there is no N1. There is N2. Okay. I need N1 actually. Okay. Simply what I'm saying is I made a new strain of this one. Okay. Maybe I will introduce N2 also. Now I got a new variant. This new variant, if it's spreaded in the community, means it may become pandemic. This new variant can become pandemic. They will exchange their proteins to become a new variant, and these new variants can become a pandemic. They can cross-infect the people and it will be more deadly. Okay, for example, this is good virus. This is good virus, but this will be the formed new one will be very deadly. Okay, maybe it will cause new mutations, new deadly variant, and this deadly variant may kill people. This is how a new variants of influenza species will happen. That is why usually when you see this swine flu or recently got bird flu, right? They said H1N1 virus, bird flu with a variant of H1N1, swine flu H2N3. They will keep a number in bird flu H1N1 variant. So these variants are from exchanging of these proteins actually. You got my point, right? They will keep the combination of these things. H1, N1 and H2 variant. H2 and N2 variant. So they will, by seeing the surface proteins of the virus, they will give new variants. These variants occur because of free floating genome in the virus. Okay? That is why understanding the antigens of virus are very important. To know the new variants, okay? For example, swine flu is a combination of H1 and N1. H1 and N1 mixed together to form a new variant called swine flu infection. Okay. Is everything clear so far? Now you understood, right? How these viruses coming? You can't see anything. Then students, I would like to tell one more thing. Now antigens clear for everyone, right? Then one more thing is mutations. I said mutations in the virus, right? Those mutations are of two types. Those mutations are of two types. One is, first of all, you need to understand mutations occur because of exchange of these proteins, right? This protein exchange happens in two forms. One is antigenic shift and second one is antigenic drift. Can anyone say the meaning of drifting? What is the drift? Drift means skidding, right? So similarly, shift means, see, I have one type of antigen here and this antigen was shifted to like this. A new antigen replaced. Such replace of entire antigen is called shifting. Replace of entire antigen is called shifting. Whereas second type is I got an antigen like this, but partially it was shifted. Only half part of this antigen was entered into the new virus. This is called a drift. Partial antigen exchange is called drifting. whereas complete antigen exchange is called shifting. Okay, because of this antigenic shift and antigenic drift of the influenza virus, we will get new variants. New variants of influenza virus occurs because of antigenic shift and antigenic drift. Okay, this property is very important for influenza viruses. Only influenza viruses have the capability of shifting their antigens and drifting their antigens. Because of this property, these influenza viruses will cause pandemics. Okay. As I said, we have two types of things: antigenic shift and antigenic drift. So in case of shift, the neuromutant spike can be entirely changed into square shape. Instead of having mushroom shaped neuromutant spike, here we have rectangle. Whereas in the drift, partially. So partial loss of antigen happened. So these two is called shift and drift. Now tell me, students, which is deadly? Shift will cause. Now imagine if we got a sudden new influenza infection, means that is due to drift or shift. New influenza came suddenly out of from nowhere. Until today, everything fine. Tomorrow we got a influenza infection in the community. That acute or spontaneous viral breakout can happen due to shift. Due to suddenly shifting the antigenic variation, a new virus will come and this new virus will kill the people. That sudden viral breakout happens because of shift. Whereas drifting, it will take some time. Gradually, after 4 years, after 10 years, you will get a new virus. That is due to drift. Drift will take some time, whereas shift will come immediately. In case of corona, it is shift. Shifting happened in corona. We have a birds and we have humans. The bats genome was shifted to human variant and we got a COVID-19 variant and we got infection. So viral pandemics can occur due to antigen shifts. Viral pandemic means immediate viral pandemic happens because of shift. Gradual chronic viral pandemic. Chronic viral pandemic, we cannot say pandemic, rather than we should say epidemics. Epidemics means localized viral breakout. Epidemics is due to drift, whereas pandemics is due to shift of viral genome, viral antigen. Is it clear? I have given an example here. We got a bird. There is a bird variant of virus entered into humans. In the humans, the antigen was shifted. There is a shifting of antigens in the human. Maybe in the human already another virus is there. They shifted and they made a new variant, and this new variant caused this new variant entered to pigs to form a swine flu. So this new variants, that is why there is a theory called mixed vessel theory. There is a theory called mixed vessel theory. Mixed vessel theory means, imagine humans as a vessel, a box, okay? In this box, we kept two viruses and we mixed it well. After mixing, we got a new virus. So similarly, some hosts will act as a vessels for mixing of viruses to form a new virus. Any two viruses will be mixed in a host and they will originate into new viruses. If this is the case, we already know viruses will do like this. And this happens because of eating multi-species meat. That is why you should not eat all types of animals. See, all animals have viruses, infections, but they will be calm in their body. They won't cause any problem if they're present in their body. But if they're shifting their host, then we will get pandemics. Like the way, actually, COVID-19 was mixed in a anteater. Do you know that anteater? What is they're calling it as called a chameleon? No? The chameleon and bats, coronavirus mixed in the humans to form COVID-19. You got my point, right? Antigenic variation, you wrote until that, right? Then write next one. Actually, I wrote a paper on this. Evolution of influenza viruses, role of intermediate host, mixed vessel theory. We all see, I wrote this paper in 2019, okay? On the concept of mixed vessel theory, on the concept of forming a new pandemic virus. As expected, we got from corona actually. So never underestimate viruses. So in the history, the Russian flu variant is H2N2, the old Hong Kong flu is H3N8, Spanish flu and H1N1, African influenza H2N2, again in the Hong Kong we got H3N2. That means in 1900s we got a influenza virus. The same virus was evolved, the H3N8 was evolved to form N2 form. And the same virus was again epidemic in the Hong Kong in 1968. Again, this is the same virus, but it mutated. Okay, and we may get a novel. We know a good track of getting future pandemics, and we thought that we will get pandemics from influenza, but interestingly, we got COVID. But still, tracking the mutations within viruses will enhance us to predict future pandemics. So interesting, right? These things. If you are curious. Yes, Mr. Simon. By eating that thing, by eating that or by living in a place where bad people. You have a you went to cave. In that cave, you may expose to their That is the problem. The problem with avian plants, quite. The problem with avian influenza is, try to understand me. Imagine birds, when they are flying, what they will do, they will drop their fecal material, right? If that bird has a infection, means now it will spread entire a larger area will be contaminated by a flying bird. So that is why avian infections or bird infections will easily spread in the community because of this mode of transmission. Highly aerosol in nature. Okay. Now write this one. So if you want, you can write these things, students. You can write a few examples. Spanish flu, right? Side heading, side points. Spanish flu, H1N1. Spanish flu is H1N1. Then Asian flu is H2N2. Spanish flu, H1N1. So you will get some idea, okay? You need not to buy one, but you will get some idea. Spanish flu variant is H1N1. Asian flu is H2N2. Hong Kong flu is H3N2. Huh? Or Russian flu also H2N2. You write a few examples, yeah. So you'll get some idea. Anukriti, why are you laughing? Do you want new variant? Quite. Hong Kong influenza H3N2 again, but here time duration. Okay. Class Akash Bhati. Quite. Yes, they are same. Okay. They will be subunits of H2N2. H2.1.2. Okay. Yeah. This is very simplest form. Class quite. Sharik Rocky. Kushbo. Next. Write antigenic drift. Everyone write antigenic drift. Write directly this statement. Very important statement. Antigenic drift. Write the definition of antigenic drift. I will ask this question in the exam. This will be 5-mark question. Difference between antigenic drift and shift. You need to write it. Antigenic drift, right? Antigenic drift refers to minor antigenic changes in their hemagglutinin and NS spikes. Write down, everyone. Both of you, get out. Ritaj, where is your notes, Ritaj? You are laughing nicely. Ritaj, I don't want to be angry on you. Quite. Bati. I can take my revenge, not with my words, with my marks. Take voice, with my correction. Also keep in mind, students, I know many of you will study only before exam, right? At that time, you won't have your notes, nothing. You will be blank, right? At that time, at least you can see my running notes. By seeing my running notes, you can write bullet points in the exam. I never failed anyone because they wrote less content in the paper. If you write proper answer, then I will give marks, even though it is one-page answer. I never failed anyone like that because of less content in the paper. Is it clear, everyone? Shall I move? Okay. Antigenic drift. You understood, right? Drift means minor change, whereas shift means entire shift of antigen. Drift will cause periodic epidemics. Epidemics occurs due to drift, whereas pandemics occurs due to shift. That's it, right? Epidemics means localized viral breakout that happens due to drift, minor change, whereas pandemic occurs due to complete shift in the antigen. And drift will happen long time, whereas shift will happen spontaneously. Is it clear, everyone? So antigenic drift refers to the minor antigenic changes in either in hemagglutinin or neuraminidase spikes or both. This is a gradual sequential change occurring regularly at frequent intervals. Antigenic drift results from mutations in HA and NA genes. The new antigens, though different from previous antigens, are yet related to them, so that antisera to be predecessor virus strains react with mutant to certain extent. Periodic epidemics of influenza are associated with antigenic drift. Whatever this complicated sentence, the concept is simple. Drift means minor changes in antigen results in epidemics. Yes, due to genetic material mutation only we got drift. Actually, it is from inner to outside, not outside to inner. There is a chance of mutating. There is a chance because of fragmented RNA. Okay. Next, antigenic shift, very important. Huh? Epidemic. Epidemic means kya? Okay, listen, class. Class. Listen to me very carefully. We got in India, okay? Something. We got India, okay? And we, okay. Today. Okay, class. Listen to me very carefully. First, we got an infection, a new infection in the tongue. For example, okay, tongue. Okay. From tongue last, from tongue the infection spread to Greater Noida. From here, infection spread to Delhi and Uttar Pradesh. Okay. Now, this infection present in entire Uttar Pradesh and Delhi. Okay. This mode of transmission of infection into a localized area, into a state, is called epidemic. Localized spreading of infection is called epidemic. Okay, I'm sorry. This is called endemic. And so within the state, within the nation, you got infection. And now, slowly, this infection started spreading all the states of India. Now, the entire nation was under infection. That is called epidemic. The entire nation is in infection. Then, now this infection will spread to, it will not boundaries and it will start spreading globally. That is called pandemic. So frequent epidemics or endemics occurs due to three, whereas pandemic occurs due to shift. Is it clear for everyone? And study of spread of infection. Can anyone say the name? Study of spread of infection is called as epidemiology. Epidemiology means it is the study of spread of infection. Epidemiology. Okay, it is not study of the skin. Yes, collection of data. This epidemiological studies happens by taking regular survey in the localized parts of the interior parts of the nation. By taking samples from individual parts of the nation, we can study the viral mutations and we can go for epidemiological studies. Okay. Now you got it right. What is the epidemic? Now, next one, antigenic drift. Write this definition, everyone. Next to our is also mine. Continue, everyone. Shut up. Class. Write it. Shut up. I will give break. Write the definition, everyone. Antigenic shift. I said shut up. Class quiet. Antigenic shift. Write, everyone. Mahir. Kushbu. Write it. Come, right. Right. Write down, everyone. So in the morphology, you need to write about antigenic drift and shift also. Okay, these are the parts in morphology. So we can continue later, okay? Then you can go for break. I will join again, students, after 5 minutes online. Thank you very much.